What are factorials, and how do we work with them? After this video, you will know. Welcome back to Math Digest. So what does it mean when we have something like 5 followed by an exclamation mark? We read this as 5 factorial, and this is a short way of writing 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So 5 factorial is 120. For any integer n is greater than 0, we can say that n factorial is equal to n times n minus 1 times n minus 2 all the way to times 3 times 2 times 1. Now that we understand what factorials are, let's look at how we calculate with them. Let's start with addition. 4 factorial plus 2 factorial. 4 factorial is equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 2 factorial is the same thing as 2 times 1. So 4 factorial plus 2 factorial is the same as 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 plus 2 times 1. And since 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is 24, and 2 times 1 is 2, that's equal to 24 plus 2. And our result is 26. Let's try a subtraction question. 6 factorial minus 5 factorial. Do you notice something? 6 factorial is equal to 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2, and 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. So we can actually write 6 factorial as 6 times 5 factorial. Therefore, 6 factorial minus 5 factorial is equal to 6 times 5 factorial minus 5 factorial. We have 5 factorial twice, so we can write this as 5 factorial times, in parentheses, 6 minus 1. Now since we know that 6 minus 1 is 5, we know that 6 factorial minus 5 factorial is actually the same as 5 factorial times 5. So that's equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 5. And so we get our answer 600. Now that we've gotten the hang of doing addition and subtraction with factorials, let's look at some multiplication. 8 factorial times 3 factorial. 8 factorial is equal to 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. And 3 factorial is equal to 3 times 2 times 1. So we can write 8 factorial times 3 factorial as 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 times 3 times 2 times 1, which is equal to 40,320 times 6. And that gives us our result, 241,920. Lastly, let's try doing some division. 7 factorial divided by 5 factorial. First, the top. 7 factorial is equal to 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Now the bottom. 5 factorial is equal to 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. But before we go through the struggle of calculating 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 divided by 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, let's look at this problem more closely. Can you see that we have 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1, both at the bottom and the top? Since we know that a number divided by itself is 1, we can remove the 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 from both the top and the bottom. This leaves us with 7 times 6, and so we know that the answer is 42. Thank you for watching. Make sure to subscribe and leave a like. If you have any ideas for future topics, please leave them in the comments section below. See you next time at Math Digest.